I remember the exact moment everything hit me. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, lights off, phone in my hand, rent due in 3 days, and I couldn't pay it. Not because I was irresponsible, not because I wasted money, but because I had funded 3 weddings, paid for school fees, covered hospital bills, and even sent money for a business venture that didn't even exist. That was the day I realized something painful. If you don't control the expectations placed on you, they will control your entire life. And the worst part is, you don't even notice it happening. Because it starts small. A little help here, a little support there, a small emergency, a small request. Until one day, you look at your bank account and realize you've built nothing for yourself. Tonight, we're diving into the Family Pressure Guide so you can reclaim your financial freedom starting right now. What if I told you something uncomfortable, but true? Sending every spare cent back home doesn't always help your family. Sometimes, it actually hurts them. Not because helping is wrong. Helping is beautiful. Helping is cultural. Helping is love. Helping is part of who we are. But when help becomes emotional, when it becomes expected, when it becomes your responsibility alone, you create a cycle of dependency that weakens their future and destroys yours. Because when people depend on you too much, they stop planning, and slowly, your sacrifice becomes their strategy. They stop preparing, they stop building, they wait for you, and you stop living for yourself. Tonight, we break that cycle with respect, wisdom, and boundaries. You just got paid, but your heart sinks because you already know the emergency calls are coming. The guilt, the pressure, the expectation that because you live abroad, you must have money. You can almost predict the messages. Please help me. It's urgent. You're the only one we have. You know things are hard here. You're blessed over there. And you sit there thinking, if only they knew. If only they understood. If only they saw the life behind the pictures. Meanwhile, your own savings stay at zero. Your goals stay on hold. Your life stays stuck. This is not selfishness. This is not disrespect. This is financial survival. And today, we end the cycle of emotional spending and silent suffering. People back home see the country you live in, not the life you're actually living. They don't see the rent. They don't see the taxes. They don't see the childcare. They don't see the loans. They don't see the cost of living that swallows your paycheck before you even touch it. They see America. They see Europe. They see Canada. And in their minds, you're rich. But here's the truth. You cannot build a stable life abroad if you're financing an entire village back home. You cannot build generational wealth if you're constantly putting out fires that aren't yours to carry. You cannot build a future if your present is always empty. Immigrants don't struggle because they're weak. They struggle because they're loyal. We feel responsible. We feel guilty. We feel like saying no means we've forgotten where we came from. But boundaries are not disrespect. Boundaries are protection. Because if you collapse financially, the same people who pressured you will ask why you didn't plan better. And that's the part nobody talks about. The part that hurts the most. The part that wakes you up. This is why you must protect your foundation first. Here's how to say no without fighting and without disrespect. Use the budget boundary. I've already planned my finances for the month. I can't take on anything extra right now. Calm, clear, not emotional, not defensive, not apologetic. Offer support without cash. I can't send money, but I can help you plan a budget. I can't fund the whole project, but I can help you think through it. This shifts the relationship from dependency to responsibility. Because sometimes people don't need money. They need guidance. They need structure. They need clarity. They need to learn how to manage what they already have. Set a monthly limit. If you choose to help, make it predictable. A fixed amount, a fixed time, no negotiation. This protects you from emotional emergencies that appear every week. Stop explaining your entire life. You don't need to justify your bills, or your struggles, or your goals. You don't need to list your expenses. You don't need to prove you're not rich. You don't need to explain why you can't send money. A simple, "I'm not able to do that right now," is enough. And remember, you are not a bank. You are building a life. You are building a family. You are building a future. Your first responsibility is the home you are creating, not the one you left. Some people will get upset. Some will call you selfish. Some will say you've changed. But anger is not always truth. Sometimes anger is just disappointment that you're no longer available for unlimited access. Sometimes anger is fear. Fear that they now have to stand on their own feet. Fear that the easy option is no longer available. You didn't move abroad to become a financial prisoner. You moved to build stability. You moved to build freedom. You moved to build generational wealth. And you can still love your family without sacrificing your entire future. If you keep sending money home without boundaries, you delay buying a home. You delay investing. You delay saving. You delay your children's future. You delay your own dreams, your own peace, your own progress. One day, you'll look back and realize something heartbreaking. You spent your entire life working abroad, but never built anything for yourself. We are here to prevent that. Helping family is not wrong. Helping family is honorable. Helping family is part of who we are, but it must be structured, not emotional. Consistent, not reactive. Sustainable, not sacrificial. From overflow, not from survival. Because the truth is simple. You cannot pour into anyone if your own cup is empty. If you're an immigrant watching this, hear me clearly. You are not a bad person for saying no. You are not disrespectful for protecting your future. You are not selfish for choosing stability over pressure. You are building something bigger than today. You are building something your children will inherit. You are building a life that doesn't collapse under guilt. And remember, we are immigrants who build with discipline, think in generations, and rise by lifting each other. But remember, lifting others should never mean burying yourself.